Come out to the walk spot for the boys again. It's a beautiful day. So I thought I'd bring them out even though it is chilly. But that pile's gone. So whether they found the people who dumped it or whether they just cleaned it up. Ready? Come on. Sam, don't go under the car. Come on, we're going this way now. We're heading back to the car. Come on, mate. Come on. Yeah, the walk's not a massive thing anymore. I mean, it's a big deal, but he already started getting worn out, so I carried him while I got Sam a bit of paceful exercise. And I put Lucky back down when we started heading back to the car, and he knew we were going back, so he started walking. This way, Lucky. Come on. We used to walk out this way all the time, but we'd walk all the way from the house, and it was like an hour and a half walk in total, 2 maybe. It was a mammoth event. When you get to the end of this road, where there's a house, you then get to a fire trail, and it heads down to this massive waterhole that I discovered once, and we'd gone out there. That was a huge walk. I think we only ever did it once. Found a waterfall. Nice and quiet. Yeah, we got a little bit too tired. Anyway, Lucky. That's all right. Sam can get a bit of pace up. I don't think he's the only one who's struggling. A couple of little bowerbirds down there. We've just entered that point in the year where it's cold and our yard will stay damp all day. So now in the morning, the sun comes up somewhere over there and basically just stays below all those trees. Now it's like the afternoon, it's up there. So our yard will only see sun maybe on that side, if anything, and a little bit in the front. But it's now about 3 in the afternoon. And this is still covered in dew. It's been like this all day. Just never gets a chance to burn off. It is sunny. It's just sunny high up. The weather's getting colder. I've got these all levelled up, so the tops are nice and level. I've got to give them all a good sand and take the sharp edges off them. Got a few drain holes in this one. Over the last few days, and I think I said it the other day, we've hit that time of the year where the sun does not hit this side of the yard at all. So, greenhouse is getting no sunshine. It's getting daylight, but no sunshine. And the original spot that we were thinking of putting it was over here. So guess what? This side of the yard gets sun for the whole year, throughout the morning. Winter, summer it gets a lot, but winter it gets a decent amount. So, you can see this string line that I've set up. This peg here is in line with the slab, and you can see where the string goes up. So that's a level line from where you come out past the sheds, and then going across there, that peg is in line with the back of the slab. So the thought is, there's my sleepers that I'd bought for doing a retaining wall on the other side, which I'd started, and I've got 5 there. I've got 2 more over there that were meant for a second section, but I have them here now. I don't have to go anywhere with them, and I've got concrete. So the idea is to build a retaining wall here, and if I go from that back peg and I come to here, that's 16 feet, which is two sleepers. That would mean I'd require 6 of the sweepers, and I've got 7. I'm just trying to think now how I'm going to concrete them, like the posts. I have got a stack of steel posts over there, do on the inside of the wall, because it's going to be all infilled, and bolt through to those. I'll show you how I've done the other side. This one that I put here a while ago, and this one needs to go. Like, this is 8 feet from the house, and that's from the pathway down the side. The idea was to continue that down to where those posts are and then cut back, because that's where the yard just starts to slope off. So that space over there, even though with that string it looks super tall, done my maths wrong. I was thinking 3, because at this end it's only 600 high, 2 feet. The other end is 800. At this end, where the entrance to the greenhouse would be, you're looking at it being that tall. This one has 5, but that's just sitting there. That's the actual top of the wall. And when I did this one, you can see I've got 4 of these along here, which was probably overkill. You get away with just having 1, then 1 in the middle, 1 at the end. That's basically having them spaced out close to 4 feet apart. Do some more maths, I think. The only thing that's in the greenhouse right now is our little seedlings. But some seem to be springing back after having sat around, being moved around so much. But the other thing is that once I start doing this, I've got to think about where all of this is going to go. And one of my thoughts are, there's about 4 feet behind the shed before you get to the fence. And while this thing comes out a lot further, the actual racking area that I've got is only about 4 feet. The materials will probably get put behind here, all of this stuff. And then I'll figure out this. I'm really sorry about my voice. I know that James from Fix It Fingers made a comment that it was really quiet at the end. And I know in that video my voice was really disappearing by the end. So I'm really trying to regain my voice, but this sounds ridiculous. Sorry. I was going to do a lot of figuring out now. Didn't like the results I was getting with that string line because it's quite a thick string, so the level doesn't hang on it that well. So I got my water level out. I had to run it down here to get all the bubbles out. So you see that little peg over there with the blue tape on it? The blue tape, the top of the blue tape is basically the level of soil just up at the top. And so now here, I've put a mark here because that's now at the same level. If you've never seen a water level before, if I lift it up, see how the water level comes up above the tape? So I lower it down until the red is in line with the top of the tape. And that's where this is. So I now know that this level is correct, whereas my old line didn't seem right. So now I can grab that side. Actually, if I can line of sight that from the other end, I might be able to do it all in one go. Okay, so I was unable to line of sight from this corner to over there. So what I've done is I've taped up the hose, the water level, and if I undo the bit of this that's wrapping around it without adjusting my height, if I now raise this hose, if I raise this until I get the liquid at the same level as the tape line, because this is my height I want. So I've got the level there. If I now come over this side and oh, look at that. That is where the level is over there, which is a lot higher than I originally had marked out using the string line. But the thing is now that I've done that, I've got this mark here and I've got a mark over there. I know that they're all the same level. I can actually measure down from there on all of the stakes and know that I'm going to be the right height. Like, it'll be the same. So if I measure like 200 or 8 inches down on this one and then do the same on there, they'll be the same height. And this is one of the bonuses of being able to have a water level, because you can do this sort of stuff and do it on your own. You don't need an extra set of hands. So I'm going to do some marking. He's getting chilly. And when you're going to pack up your water level, get your rubber bung, jam it in the end of that, get your other one, jam it in the end of that one. Then when you take it all down, it's not going to develop bubbles or spill. Now I can take it all down. There's the sun. There's the greenhouse, not getting any. This is where it should be. It's just after 11 o'clock in the morning. So this area here has received sun all morning. And it will probably lose it. The sun will go across to here, so it'll be mottled, but it'll only lose it maybe around 2 o'clock. I've got to try and talk to my wife about the different heights, because this one is the same height as that. This one was the original thought I was doing of just levelling out the ground there, and it's mainly because of that end there where you can see how tall it gets. But in the meantime, I'm going to start dismantling the thing I've just set up and make some space around the back of the shed, because I've got 4 foot of space there. This is 5, a little over 5 feet. And chop them down a little bit further and just make it fit behind this shed and the work shed. Can put the pallets at one end to still have that sort of storage, and then I've got all the above storage as well, so I think that'll work. It's a pain to have to do it, but I think it'll be better in the long run. So over by the fence, and I've taken the cover down. Where this is here seems to get the most sun, which is what I was saying in my last YouTube video. So I'm going to have to move all of this, and I'm going to set up the greenhouse over here. So I'm behind the sheds and in the process of setting up this frame. Now it's only going to be about just shy of 4 feet wide, and before it was like about 5.5, so it'll be a bit more of a squeeze, but I think I'll get most of the stuff under there that I need to. Okay, this is where I'm up to with getting all of this moved. That's what I got done yesterday. So I've got all that long material up on here. There's my pallets with my shorter material, some of my hardwood stuff and whatnot. I've got framing timber up on this top section. I'm still thinking I'm going to have to get some form of a gutter on the back of the work shed, because otherwise that's just going to run off there, and it's going to, I think, just splash all over the timber on this side. So I've got to get something there somehow, and then maybe I'll hang some plastic or tarps along the sides to stop blow-in type rain, and this end I'll hang a tarp from here so it just goes down over the edges, and because this is around the side it's not so much of an eyesore. And this is where I've got to finish getting this out. So I've got these 2 sawhorses basically holding up all of this stuff, and figure out where I'm going to put this stuff. Okay, that's how that's now been done. Just got that screwed up underneath, so any rain can sort of just wash over the end. It'll keep all that area semi-dry. Wife just came out, we had our discussions. We're going to go for this height here. This is the one that's the same height as the concrete around the corner, but that's really tall. So if we go this high, I need basically 6 sleepers to go along here. I'm going to have 3 here going back to the slab. That'll basically mean that this whole area will be filled, and where we come around the edge, it'll be like just 1 step down to get to the same level. Got plenty of dirt to fill it. I just need to get more sleepers, because I think I worked out I need at least 15 for here to have my walls and all my pieces that get sunk into the ground, because they've got to go in at least 2 feet. And I don't have that many sleepers. I've only got 8, because I count those 2 as one. They could be posts. So maybe I'll call the place and see if they'll do delivery. And I can get the ones that I need for here as well, because I need 4 here and 4 cutting back into there, as well as ones going into the ground. So I think that's going to be my job for a bit, see if I can get cracking onto that instead of making it drag out like I've done with a lot of jobs, like that retaining wall over there. I'm going to break down this pallet that all the blocks came on. Trying to break down this pallet, cut all the way along there, that was fine. Cutting along here, got here, it jammed on this one. I'm really not thinking that was the reason, but now it started just jamming and spinning. Now you tell me if this sounds healthy. Because it doesn't to me. And I know that the spindle lock wouldn't work to get the blade off. I mean, it's not even going in there, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't sound good at all. Okay, so here's my saw in lots of pieces, trying to get everything sorted. The motor's not too bad in here. It sounds a little bit rough, but that wasn't the noise I was hearing. And I need to try and get these off. I got this screw out, but the heads on these have stuffed up. I might try and cut a slot across it to use a big flat blade as well. But the saw, you might be able to see, it's not a direct drive. So there's a gearbox in here to drive this. And if I just hold that bit there and then turn this, sounds like the gearbox is stripped in this. Yeah, because when you put in the locking spindle too, that is actually locking the spindle of the motor. But I can turn the actual blade shaft. So chances are that the gearbox in this is probably plastic. I was hoping it wasn't, and I won't actually know until I get this off. Because it's a decent brand. I'll find my Dremel to cut a slot. Well, doing that was successful because I was able to get these screws out. And it confirmed it was a metal gear, but it looks like it's basically just taken the top, because there's nowhere for those gears now to mesh in with that. So I've got a feeling that's why. Yeah, it's just stripped the gears. Completely, there's no way that's going to be able to mesh in now. Damn it. We had a bit of rain last night. It's quite heavy at one point, so I was worried about the timber thing behind the shed, but when I checked that was all good. Came out here, used some of my Rio pipes, like Rio stakes that I bought for doing the retaining wall up the front. I've just hammered them in because they're easier to get to go exactly where you want, as opposed to a star picket and timber pegs. So, I set up my level here. Here's my starting level, which is the level of the concrete here, so that we can just walk straight out here and onto the area. And when you look at coming along here, I'm going to have to do retaining wall here and retaining wall along there, and roughly where that peg that's on an angle is, that's how far 2 8-foot retaining sleepers will go. So this top tape mark is the same height as the concrete. The top tape marks is the same as the concrete. Every other tape mark is the width of a sleeper. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, going to need 4 sleepers along this section. By the time it gets to that end, it'll only be 3 unless I just dig it down and make it a 4 sleeper wall all the way along, which is probably going to look better from that side, from the back of the yard, looking back up this way. And this one, I'll obviously need at least 2, but then I'll have to dig down here to do a 3rd one, and then a 4th one just as a short section dug back into the hillside. So I'll have a supporting one into the ground there, and I want to try and make it look like the wall over the other side of the yard. So they're 7 inches back from the edge, 7 inches back from the edge, and then evenly spaced out in the middle. And so then from this one, 7 inches from the corner, which is where those 2 strings are crossing over, and 7 inches from wherever the end of that sleeper will be, and then another 2 in the middle, and then same thing along there. Each of those need to get sunk in at least 2 feet and concreted in. So digging all of those is going to be first job. I should get all those concreted in and put in place along the levels, and then you can put the sleepers up against them and drill holes and bolt them through. Now I've done all this so I know everything where everything needs to go, and then I can really work out properly how many sleepers I need, because I'm going to see if I can get them delivered up here from the place I bought them from before, because obviously can't drive the van down there like I did last time. And if you do ever intend on doing anything like this, make yourself a water level. That's been perfect, because I've just used that to set off the top, the highest point, or the level, because then all measurements can be taken off those. Like all the little tape marks down the Rio for each level of the sleeper height or width. I had an offcut from one of the other sleepers, and I just basically held that up there and put a texture mark underneath, then moved it down, put a texture mark underneath, then I just wrapped the tape so they stand out a lot more. And because the texture might wash off the steel. And around this side, this was what I was concerned about with the rain, because I figured the rain's going to come off here and then run down. And I was kind of worried of it getting all over this timber, but I felt the timber's bone dry. So it's coming off. It obviously doesn't, unless we have an absolute downpour, the water will just basically come to the ends and drip straight down. And that's just here near my wall, behind the workshop. Got more stuff in it. This and that was the pallet I was cutting apart when the saw died. Getting to take a short trip out today. Our post gets delivered by multiple groups, like depending on whether it's a parcel or mail or Amazon, obviously, and that sort of stuff. But Australia Post they subcontract a lot of stuff. We have had posties. There was one in the past that argued the fact about having to bring a parcel down to the door. And so last week we got one of these little things, which is basically just a card to tell you there's a package at the post office that you need to come and collect. And normally it'll say only the person who it's addressed to can collect. It might need to be something that has to be signed for. This one doesn't need to be signed for. Somebody else can come and collect it as well. So we think it's the same postie. He just didn't want to come down the driveway because we were home. My wife rang them and said, like, we were home, can we get that delivered? And they said, no, you have to come and collect it. So short jaunt up to the post office, then back to the house.